Hi guys, so I wanted to show you how to use MyFitnessPal and get a little more comfortable with it if you're not sure how to yet. So you're going to go to your MyFitnessPal app. So from the get-go, you have a bunch of different functions at the bottom. The diary is just showing you your day-to-day eating of your food, and you can always go back, look to see what you're eating. You can go ahead to that little other little tracker chart, and it can show you your macros for that day. If you have the premium version, you will have some different options on there. It's just the non-premium version. The recipe function, you can look up recipes, it can save recipes, which is kind of cool. And then the only other thing you're worried about is the me portion. And here we can update your goals. If you do not have the premium version, you can't exactly put the exact macros that you have, but you can do with the macros that I give you, you can go ahead and change the percentages to get as close as you can to those macros. So, and if you're not sure what to use for it, I could always help you with that too. But if you have the premium version, which is kind of convenient, you can set that up exactly to how you want it. So, first thing we're going to do is just talk about how to track foods. We go to the little plus sign, and then we're going to go to food. Whatever meal you're eating, we're going to go to breakfast, that's fine. So, a couple things. First thing you can do, once you start having more food in here, it's just previous food that I eaten, you can go to that multi-add button, and you can actually go ahead and press different ones that you want to eat if you're normally eating them at that time, which is super convenient. Another thing you can do is use the barcode scanner, and you can scan whatever food you're eating in case you haven't had it in your tracker before, which is super helpful. Another thing we have is if we're just adding whatever food. So let's say we're going to, potatoes. We're going to go add potato. Now, for a lot of you that use a scale, we're obviously using ounces, we're using grams. So you will have to play around with a few different food items to find out which one has ounces and grams. If it doesn't, just look for the next one. But so let's say it's 1 gram, we go to save, number of servings, that'd be how many grams. So if you're going by 1 gram increments, if it's 100, you'll just press it's 100 grams. And then just press the check mark button. So we have that food in there, which is awesome. Another thing that we have in that food section is we have my meals. So I'll show you how to make meals. It's super convenient. That way you can just add in like your breakfast every single time, and you don't have to re-log food like manually, individual piece by piece. You can just go to that meal and plug it right in. My recipes, I'll show you how to make a recipe, also very convenient. And then last we have my food. So that one, if let's say you go to scan a food item and it doesn't show up, the easiest thing to do is we'll go to that plus sign and we'll go to create a food. So now you can look on the back, just like it says the example, Campbell's, say it's chicken soup. And let's say it wasn't showing up when you scanned it, you'll just put the serving size, the units, servings per container, and bam, you're good to go. So in case it doesn't show up on the barcode scanner. So let's say we're going to create a recipe. So we go to create a recipe, you can add it from the web, or you can enter the ingredients manually. So let's say it is soup. And we're going to go number of servings. Not a big deal for now, but just keep in mind that we are going to measure the final product. So if we're making actual soup, we want to make sure we put it in a container that we can measure the entire thing. That will be the weight of it, or the number of grams will be the total number of servings. This keeps it super accurate so that you don't have to remember, okay, one serving is, 100 grams, and what happens if I only have 80 grams left? So this keeps it super helpful. You can, once you figure out how many grams would equal to a good amount for that meal. But you can always figure that later on. So let's say we'll just put 2 for right now. And we're going to hit bulk ingredient, import ingredients, which is super helpful. So once we have that, now we're just going to add in some items. So let's say the first thing is potato, and then we have rice, and then we have chicken, and then we have broth. That's our soup. We're going to go to next. So now we're going to go ahead and make sure each of the items that we want in there is measured to how we want them. So for rice, we're going by grams. So we check to see if it has grams. It doesn't. So we're going to go to cancel and replace that ingredient. So maybe we go to rice. Let's say it happens to be jasmine rice. This is the raw weight. Don't want to go by that. I'm just going to go to a different one instead. Red rice. Let's say it happens to be red rice. Maybe it is. This is a coincidence. So number of servings, we're putting 100 grams of rice in there. We're going to hit save and press the check mark button. Once we have all the items with the right serving amount or serving size, the grams, how it should be measured, we're going to hit next. We're just going to review it, and that shows you what it is per serving. Let's say, we don't know. Let's say we just figured out the entire size of it. Let's say I measured it out and it's 1,000 grams. Then we're going to click on here, 1,000, and that's the number of servings, not 100,000. We're going to click save. We're not going to add that to the diary. So now we're going to go back, and let's say we wanted to add that for today. We go to food, and then we could go, let's say, breakfast again, and we'll go to my recipe. So I just made a recipe, and we're going to go to number of servings. This is the one that we just made, and it should show you, I believe it worked. We're going to go to, let's say it's 500. And that shows you in 500 grams of that soup, that's the number of carbs, so 51 carbs, 4 grams of fat, and 51 grams of protein. And we're going to press check. And now we have that logged in. So we have our soup, 1 serving, and we're good to go. Sorry, wrong one. Soup, there it is, 500 grams. And we're good to go for that. So that's how we add in recipes. Let's say we're going to add in, get that add button, and we'll create a meal. So I was talking about before. So let's say our meal is breakfast. And we're going to go to that plus sign, and we'll go to our history, and this has the foods that we've eaten most recently. We're going to click that multi-add button, and let's say our breakfast is normally eggs, strawberries, some bread, goat cheese, carrots, bam, good to go. We're going to hit plus sign, and then breakfast, we'll say it's like an egg breakfast. And then we're going to click save. And we could also take a picture of that meal too if you really wanted to. You could just go back to that and then click add photo to that. Super convenient. And the other feature I wanted to show you guys, again, that plus sign, I showed you create the food. Okay, so those are the couple features we have for that. If you guys have any questions, again, please let me know.